Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another super cool radio interview. I'm your host, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have a great guest joining me at this time. She's an awesome shred guitarist and multi-instrumentalist from Pennsylvania. Please welcome Colby KL.
Hey everyone! So glad to be on the show today. Really looking forward to it.
It's very nice to meet you. Thank you so much for your time. I know we have quite a bit to discuss with the music, your music career, and so much more as well. I know we got, as I said, a lot to discuss with everything. So I'm curious, like for you, before we dive into everything, a question I've been asking my guests lately: if you could have dinner with any two musicians throughout history, living or deceased, who would they be?
Two that come up top of my head would be James Hetfield from Metallica. He seems like a really humble guy and really nice, and I could see him telling a lot of stories just from back in the day in Metallica and everything. So that would be cool. And then my second choice would be Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden, because he seems like very energetic and another guy who could tell so many stories of just touring back in the day and stuff. I think it would be so cool just to hang out with those two, because they are two big inspirations for me when it comes to bands I like and stuff. So,
oh, very nice. Two awesome and amazing musicians. Two very great picks. So I'm curious for you, like, so for like Metallica and Iron Maiden, like when did you start like listening to that style of music?
Yeah, I first got into metal when I was 11, I would say. Before that, I was really into like rock, like Foo Fighters and Nirvana. Not like metal really, but like more like generic hard rock and stuff. But when I was 11, I heard Seek and Destroy. My mom actually, we were in the car. I was really young. I was 11, and she played Seek and Destroy for me. And I thought it was cool. Like I didn't like love it at first, but I was like, okay, this is really different from like Nirvana and stuff like that, because I had never really heard of Metallica at that time. And then as like the pandemic hit and everything, I had time to listen to a lot of music than ever before because I was at home a lot. So I started exploring like Kill 'Em All, like that first whole album, and then like Ride the Lightning, like all their old stuff, and I just fell in love with it. And I would like go on YouTube and watch all sorts of videos of them playing live, especially from the 80s. And I like looked up to them so much as big inspirations, especially James Hetfield for his rhythm guitar playing. Definitely a huge influence for me when I was first started playing, listening to that kind of music.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Yeah, I discovered Metallica like in my probably teenage years when I started like listening to Metallica, and ironically, the first album I listened to was Kill 'Em All, which is funny. But I think that's like how people kind of discover Metallica. Yeah, obviously people kind of start where the band starts, but yeah, that's I didn't know them very much. I went to a CD like a record store and I picked up Kill 'Em All because I liked the artwork, and then that's how I started listening to them. So, but now focusing on you now. So like what inspired you to like pursue music?
Yeah, so I originally became a drummer. Actually, it was like the first time I ever like played an instrument. I was very young. I was probably 8 or 9, and I started out on an electronic drum kit, and I've always been playing an electronic drum kit. So drums was really my first introduction to playing music. And like I said, like I mentioned previously, I listened to a lot of rock stuff like Foo Fighters and like Nirvana and like a lot of the 90s, 2000s stuff. So the drums was really where it first started, which is ironic because a lot of people know me from my guitar playing. So the fact that I started on drums is kind of crazy. So yeah, I was a drummer for a long time, just a drummer. I just played drums. I did play in like a band for a little bit when I was like 11 or 10. I was really young. Played a couple shows and stuff. But all of a sudden, like when I was 11, I wanted to play the guitar. I don't know. I just wanted to try something new. And I was getting older, a little older. So I just wanted to try it because I always thought the guitar was a cool instrument, but I never took the time to actually learn it and things like that. So the guitar, I started playing when I was 11, and my dad basically introduced me to all of it because I've been surrounded by music my entire life. He is a guitar player, and he's been in bands since he was like very young. So I really learned a lot from him. Like all I know, everything I've been taught, it basically has come from him. And without him, I don't know where I'd be right now doing all that. I probably wouldn't even be playing guitar. So he's definitely a pivotal like role in my musical journey in general. So he helped me learn the guitar and then build up from everything I've shown me everything that I've known to build up from today. So yeah.
That is so cool, to have like your dad kind of like basically
Yep.
teach you everything you know about guitar is so cool to hear. So like I'm curious. So like, what's kind of like the best advice he has given you?
I would say the most valuable advice he has given me is there is always someone better than you out there, which is something I think people don't consider. Like when you're practicing and stuff, you always have the mentality like you want to get better, you want to be the best you can be. But at the same time, there's always someone out there that's a little bit better than you. Like, for example, I know I can play a lot of the shred, like more difficult, challenging guitar, like Paul Gilbert and Yngwie Malmsteen. But I know that there's always someone better than me out there. And I think that's really important, especially when you got to be humble too. Like, I think that's a lot of big part of it. So when you consider the fact that there's always someone out there that's better than you, there's always someone that's a little better than you can learn from. Just like my dad, like I would arguably say he's better than me, obviously, because he's been playing longer and stuff like that. So I just think, I know it's kind of like a strange advice, but at the same time, it's really useful when you think about it, like in the grand scheme of things.
For sure, for sure. No, because there's always, it also helps you like just constantly improve your skills too. Because you meet people, see people, like them performing. You go, okay, that's some cool, cool things they're doing. Maybe I can incorporate a little of that into my work as well. So it just pushes you to get better and better and better. Also, I'm curious. So, like, have you performed like on stage with your dad before?
Yes, I have a couple of times, luckily. One time was when we both played guitar together, which was great. We played a show in 2023 with a band named Anthrophobia. They're a local band in my area. They're like heavy rock band. And my dad was in that band like in the 90s, like way back in the day. And they did a reunion kind of show. It was the singer Frank Phobia. He had a birthday bash. That's kind of what the show was, birthday bash. So my dad and I were able to play a part of that show, like play a set from all the songs that my dad played with him on back in the day. So we together played those songs on stage, and we both played guitar. We played like the different guitar parts and stuff. So that was really cool. And then the other times that I played with him was in his local band that he's in, Led Zeppelin tribute band. They are named Days of My Youth, and I played drums with them many times with my dad playing guitar. So we got to play together on two different instruments before. And that was really cool too. So there has been many times where we've gotten to play live together at the same time. And it's been a really cool experience.
All right, on. Well, I'm glad to hear you both have been, I've had the opportunity to share the stage together. Sounds like that would be an awesome experience. I'm very happy for you. So now you did mention, so obviously you started out as drums, then you moved to guitar. I've seen your bass covers online as well. So like out of like all those instruments, like do you have a favorite to like perform live with or record with? Like which one's your favorite?
Yeah, overall, I would definitely say the guitar. I just think I think it's a lot more fun. And especially when you consider the fact that drums, it's a lot more challenging. Like I think live, I don't think I could handle playing a whole set for like an hour and a half on drums. Like it's very intense. Like because you are using all your body parts. With guitar, you're mainly just focusing on your hands, so it's a lot different. And like I said, overall, I just enjoy the guitar a lot more too. But I love the drums too. But I think guitar would be like my number one instrument if I had to pick all of them.
Very, yeah, the drum definitely very physical. As you
Yes.
said, using your whole body, it's
Yep.
way more intense. Have to have some very good conditioning. Like, you have to be good conditioning for everything, but especially with the drums because as it is more physical. So also like for you, kind of focusing on your music. So very recently you released a new single or a new song, "Power Attack." So like I'm curious for you, like how is it writing and recording? Like what is your process for the song?
Yeah. So for this song, The story of how it came to be is actually really interesting. The main part that starts in the song, the da 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 da, like the main part where I'm saying no turning back, that whole section was actually a piece from another song that I was writing like last year. And I played the song for my dad because I go to my dad for advice, obviously, when it comes to my original music. In addition to guitar playing, he always gives me tips on maybe like, oh, you should do this, or maybe you should do this. So he told me like, you got to use this part of the song. This part's so cool. So what I did was I took that part and I turned that into a whole different song, which became Power Attack. So like the story is kind of cool, like how it became one song to another song. So yeah, so that's basically how it started. And then from there, my dad kind of helped me like write the rest of it. From there, like all the guitar parts, and I wrote all the lyrics by myself and stuff. So that's how that song came to be. And recording it in the studio was very fun. I love recording in the studio. It's just, I don't know, it's just cool because I get to like showcase my talents through my original music because I get to play all the instruments at the same time, which is something that I don't get to do a lot, obviously. So yeah, it was a fun song. It's a really fun song to play, and I just hope that I get to release it and put it out to as many people as I can because I just think it's worth hearing, and I'm really proud of it.
I definitely, for sure. I very much enjoy the song, especially that opening part. As you were talking about, like that is for me the most memorable part of the song. Cause I just like how the song starts because it really draws you in. So very
Yeah,
well done with that because I enjoy it.
thank you. Yeah, I agree. I think it just turned out really well, and my dad was even my dad. My dad said that like you got to put this at the beginning to get people in. I said okay, that we will do that.
Well, very good advice because I think it turned out
Yeah,
very well.
for
But
sure.
no, as also what I want to discuss, you have a music video for Power Attack out
Yes.
right now. I'll
Yeah.
leave a link for that in the description. So, like, how was it filming the video?
Yeah, it was kind of last minute, the idea, because it was a week before it came out, and I knew that I had to do a video. Like, I didn't want to do a lyric video because lyric videos can kind of get boring. I wanted to do an actual performance video of me playing all the guitar parts, mainly focusing on the guitar playing, not the drumming necessarily. But basically, I had the idea of going to my studio that I record at and going out to the big room where the drums are and just standing in front of the wall and just playing. So that's all it was. Like it wasn't that complicated. Like I just got my phones out. I used my phone, and my mom recorded all the video for me because obviously I can't do that by myself. I gotta have somebody else film it. So I had it filmed all by her, and I basically just played along with the song. We got different shots. Like at one shot I was kind of closer, and then at the other shot I was far away. And then during the guitar solo, I made sure that the guitar was really showcased there, like it was zoomed in. If you notice the video, that's how it's structured like that. But yeah, the video turned out really good. It's just the task of actually adding all the effects and lining up this music is what's very tedious because I envision all these scenes in my head. So not only am I editing this video, but at the same time in my brain I am thinking and thinking of all these ideas, and I'm envisioning all these things, and I have to put that in context and actually put it to reality in the video. So thanks to my program that I use on my phone to record all these videos and edit all these videos, I was able to really put a lot of cool effects in it and really make it a reality and make the video as best as it could be. So it turned out really well, for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. As I said, I liked it because it was simple, but also very well done. I like the editing you did, the effects you added. Overall, it turned out to be very cool. And as I said, I enjoy it, and I will leave a link for it if anyone wants to check it out in the description of this podcast as well. Make sure to check it out, give it a like as well. But now I'm curious. So for like I've seen you got some other lyric videos. You have like bass playthroughs, guitar playthroughs. Like, do you handle all the editing for your videos?
Yes, I do all the editing on my own, whether it's a bass cover or a drum cover or a guitar cover. I do all the editing by myself, and I do all the music videos by myself too for all my songs.
Very nice. I very much enjoy it. You got some great editing skills, so I like the videos you've been releasing on your YouTube channel. So, but I did also want to tell you, as I mentioned, you got some bass playthroughs. So how do you how do you like go about learning the song for like the bass playthroughs?
Yeah, so I basically just think in my head what are some songs that I really enjoy that have more intricate bass parts or parts that stand out to me. So I'll just look up a song that I can think of on YouTube. Like usually I'll learn it by myself. If it's really hard, my dad will can show it to me, but it's bass, so usually I can just figure it out. Not like guitar. So I'll just go on YouTube and I'll practice a song for a little bit, and then usually the same day I can just record a cover of it. So one cover I did was Supermassive Black Hole by Muse, which is like a song I really like. And I think the bass is excellent on that, and the tone is so like killer on that. Like it's just so like heavy and it's so big sounding. So that was one that I picked, and I basically just learned all the parts on YouTube. And then after that, I recorded a video of me covering that song, and it was fun. And thanks to my amp that I have, the Spark 40 by Positive Grid, I was able to achieve a tone very similar to the Muse tone. So yeah, that's basically how I go about doing my bass covers. So
Very nice. I like the you have a wide variety of like songs that you have like bass covers of, which I you don't just like stick to like one band or like style. Like you
yeah,
do a few different ones. So I like the variety with that.
yeah, I try to incorporate a lot of different stuff because I'm into a lot of different music, so I try to incorporate that in my covers. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. So like, is there any songs like that you like want to cover like at some point, but you haven't yet?
Yeah, definitely. I would say Mr. Crowley by Ozzy Osbourne, like the solos. I've gotten asked to do that a lot, and I have not done it. And I think that's a really like legendary solo in rock history. So that's definitely one I need to cover. Mr. Crowley and a Megadeth solo. That's like something I love Megadeth, like especially like the Rest in Peace album. Marty Freeman is like incredible. That's like definitely another song I want to cover, whether Tain or 18 or Holy War is one of those songs. So there's definitely some songs I want to cover. I just haven't had a chance to even like whatever learn them and go through it. So there's some out there, but those are some of them.
Well, that would be awesome. I hope we get to see that at some point. Definitely gonna be challenging, but I think
Yeah.
you can definitely do it. So now, as we're starting to wrap up this interview again, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for hanging out, and chatting with me. So I'm curious for you before we talk about your future plans. Like, so what music have you been listening to lately?
Yeah, so I've been really listening to like tons of Avril Lavigne. Like I know it sounds weird, but like I love like her style and her sound and like the way she sings. Like she's so powerful like on stage and stuff. Mainly like her first album, Let Go, has like all the big songs on it and stuff, and then some albums after that. So I really like her music. I've been listening to that for like 4 months, like 5 months. Like I've been listening to her constantly. And then I also been listening to a lot of Ben Sumfold. Ben Sumfold's one of my favorite bands, like of all time. And I love their sound. Like it's the same thing with Avril Lavigne. I just love like these bands have like such a unique sound that they just stand out to me, and in turn, really attractive to me. Like Ben Sumfold, I just think has a perfect balance of like melodies and heaviness and all in between. So those are definitely like two bands like I've been listening to constantly like recently. So yeah, I'm really like I know that's crazy because those two bands are so different, but that's how I am. I listen to all these different types of bands, and then in turn I get a lot of inspiration from all those different bands, and I infuse it into what I do. So
Oh well, I those
yeah,
are two great bands that I honestly I listen to as well. Like Avenged
yeah,
Sevenfold is just amazing because they have such a wide variety. They can get very heavy, but then they
yeah,
can do like some piano songs like off their latest album. Like they could do
yeah.
everything very well, and they are amazing. But now, as we close this interview out, so Colby, what are your plans for the rest of 2024?
Yeah, so my ambition for 2024 is to hopefully put out another original song, Another single. It's going to be not as heavy as Power Attack, like less, like not as intense. It's going to be more mellow, like very similar to another song I have out called "Fear Is the Enemy." I put it out a couple years ago. It's kind of like melodic. It's heavy, but it's very melodic. So it's kind of the new song is going to be more like that. So yeah, put out a new song, maybe like, I don't know, the end of this year, like get it recorded in the studio in the next month or two, and then put it out in December maybe. And then also just keep recording covers. As I mentioned before, I wanted to cover a lot of Megadeth songs or Ozzy Osbourne or any songs in general that I've gotten asked to do, because a lot of my fans have all these song requests and it's very hard to try and get them together and actually record them. So I'm slowly working on that. So hopefully I can also record some new covers as well. So those are my two big ambitions for this year.
Well, very nice. Well, I look forward to the more original music and all the covers as well.
Yes.
Please shout out and support Colby KL. Now, before we head out, where are the best places to find Colby KL online?
Yeah, you can find Colby KL, my original music, on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, any like major streaming platform that you have. I'm also on YouTube. Like, not only are my covers on YouTube, but my songs are on there. And you can also check out my covers and main videos on Instagram.
Well, very nice. Well, I will leave links for all that in the description of this podcast. As I said, please check out and support Colby KL. Colby, thank you so much for stopping by Super Cool Radio.
Thank you. I had a great time.
Same as well. For Colby KL, I'm your host always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Super Cool Radio. And remember, stay frosty.